Someone linked this earlier. Scientists successfully replicate historic nuclear fusion breakthrough 3 times. That's pretty cool. What was the ratio of power generation to use? Produce a nuclear fusion reaction, release more energy to use in a process called ignition. To realize things. Significant step. What was the power amount? Vaush, the National Ignition Facility, is for weapons testing, not power production. Yeah, but they probably have a lot of cool tech to play with. Also, tech breakthroughs tend to be for, like, military purposes at first. The energy produced in December 2022 was small. It took around 2 megajoules to release 3.15 megajoules, enough to boil around 10 kettles of water. Nice. 2 to 3.88 megajoules, so that's like a 2-to-1 ratio, basically. And what about the most recent? Oh, it doesn't say the most recent ratio of power. I like it when Vaush simps for military tech. It's so adorable. What are you talking about? This isn't just military tech. This would literally provide, if we got this down, this would be free energy forever. Like it's not, like it's unimaginable how impactful this would be. It doesn't say what the energy ratio was for the most recent test. That's kind of annoying, but whatever. 2 subsequent experiments in October also delivered net gains. But what gains? Probably in the this about fusion. Yes. It's not net gains. I know they use more energy in the initial ignition process. I'm aware of that. This isn't actually a net energy benefit. The idea is that if you scaled this up and ran it for long enough, that the ratio would eventually overtake the initial energy investment. I know that. I mean, the replicability of this is pretty impressive, though. Isn't it kind of funny? Remember how in Spider-Man 2, Doc Ock made a fusion generator, and it was like super dangerous and it was going to suck everything in, but in reality, fusion energy is really, really safe, and it's fission energy that's actually quite dangerous. It's way overhyped because of the language they use. Yeah, but if we did this, it would be like... It would do it all. And even fission is pretty safe. Yeah, fission is pretty safe. I don't mean to smear. I'm not here to smear my nuclear fission boys. Okay, you know I'm a fission enjoyer myself. I'm just saying that fusion is a lot safer. No nuclear fusion bombs? No, that's not a thing. It's overhyped because you're not reading it directly from scientific journals. Wait, why are people in chat being negative about this? Hydrogen bombs? Are hydrogen bombs fusion bombs? Is that has to be like a different fusion process than the fusion reactor. Oh yeah, atomic fission and nuclear fusion, neat. So what, does it like fire hydrogen at the core or whatever to like kick off with fusion a fission process or something? I guess I should say then that I don't know how fusion could be the sustained explosive part of a nuclear weapon. Let me see. First, a separate nuclear fusion, secondary stage containing thermonuclear fuel. So does it like the nuclear fission like smashes the fusion elements together? That makes sense, actually. Yeah. Well, I think we shouldn't do that. Anyway, that's not quite the same as creating a fusion reactor. Modern fission reactions are also way more fuel efficient. With modern Gen 4 and newer reactors, your nuclear fuel yet to exist on Earth will be classed as yeah, I still think fusion would be better, you know, because it's cool, I think. It's still under 400 megajoules. It's a fucking lie. Fusion politics keeps unironically. What are you on about? Why are you so polarized against the fusion? I know. Why are you so angry about fusion reaction? Can we not, like... Some people are passionate about it. Okay, there's a difference between passionate and annoying. Some people are being negative out of skepticism. Yeah, I guess so. Well, hopefully something comes of it. Might take a few decades, though. Vaush, their approach is just a scam. You can't make continuous energy output using their method. They just want grants. That's not a scam. Why are you... What is this attitude? This is how science works. What do you mean? You do experiments, you demonstrate results, you apply for grant. What was scam? Yes, scam. Watch the Veritasium video on this. Veritasium video on nuclear fusion. The problem with nuclear fusion? That's from Real Energy, not Veritasium. We can't watch a Veritasium video anyway.
On December...
The problem with science communication. So what, this is just about the media misreporting scientific results. Okay, what about it? Yeah, it's about how it's reported, but not the research itself. Is this irresponsible journalism? It seems like this is a pretty neutrally worded article. I mean, it contains quotes of people saying this could be very cool, but I think that. All right, personally, I'm negative because it's unironically lying. They keep using reaction versus entire reaction. Unless net output exceeds net input, it'll never break even. The problem is they claim 3.5 to 2 megajoules. I support fusion research. I just hate how unironically they keep outright lying about power generation for money. The lasers are roughly 10% efficient, even boosting 100% efficiency, about 400 megajoules in, 35 out at best. Okay, but isn't that like an initial ignition process? Like, the point is scalability. It can't be scaled? Fire an array of 200 lasers at a pellet of hydrogen fuel inside a diamond capsule the size of a peppercorn itself inside of a gold cylinder. You gotta replace the pellet each time? Well, you'd make a bigger pellet, I imagine. I think they're saying there's nothing possible past just ignition. Well, isn't this just like the early... Okay. I'm okay with people being frustrated at the way it's reported, but is it really... Do people really think that this is like a scam? I feel that's an unnecessarily negative attitude, like to the point where it's dishonest. For some companies and startups, yes, this is how all tech development works. Here we go, Vaush pretending he is a scientist. True. Also pretending that I'm a site mod. Oh wait, I wasn't pretending. We can never scale it up without proper funding and research. Well, yeah, I agree with that. I just don't understand. People in chat just got like really angry all of a sudden, which I don't understand. You know, like what in an increasingly perilous world. One of the few things that I take some very direct interest and pleasure from is the knowledge that technological advancement sort of marches onward. You know, like it's cool. It's not there yet, of course, but I think it was just a few folks. Well, I mean, yeah. People are complaining about the opportunity cost of fusion research because they want the money to go elsewhere. Fusion research isn't a scam, though. What else should we put the money in? I mean, that's not necessarily how grants work, by the way. Like, if you just never put grants ever into anything that didn't look like it was the most immediately viable system, a lot of technology we have today would not exist. Like, the whole point of pure research is like, yeah, dude, let's throw a bunch of money at a bunch of scientists and see what happens, you know? If you're going to hyper-scrutinize all those processes, you're kind of anti-scientific process. Like, there is no way in retrospect to have a perfectly efficient and optimal distribution of wealth and resources because you have no idea which grants are going to end up randomly developing some insane shit that gets used in some other thing, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. We already know that fission works and is hyper-efficient, and we don't build more. Okay, here's the thing that bothers me about you fission guys, okay? You know for a fact that it is mathematically good to build more fission reactors, but you are so autistic about the real-world implications of that. Whether or not you like it, dude, nuclear tech is tainted optically, okay? Like, the potential for fusion energy, which is an energy source, if scaled properly, which essentially can't go wrong, because if anything goes wrong, the power cuts the beam and you're fine, right? As opposed to the history we have of nuclear meltdowns. You're not, like... First of all, the money that goes to grants, that goes to scientists, is not the money that goes to building nuclear plants. That's like a political decision. That gets made by the governments, you know? So when you're like, oh man, I hate they gave $20 million to this one random kind of like energy tech when they could have spent 20 billion globally building, like that's just not how it works. That's not like, don't like apples and oranges this shit, right? Like, I agree, it'd be nice if they built more of these facilities, more solar and more wind and blah, blah, blah. But like, don't act like it's like one of the other. Don't make them fight. Why are you making them fight? You know, it's science, pro-science. History, Vaush, there have been 3 total meltdowns and 2 of them weren't even bad. Autist, listen to me, autist. Go talk to a random person on the street and ask them if they think nuclear is safe. That is what you have to deal with. Not mathematics, not your, like, what is hyperbolically or hypothetically the best, whatever else. You're dealing with politics here. You think that's like a coincidence that basically every government in the world is kind of tetchy about nuclear energy? Okay? Like, come on. We're not talking about whether it's mathematically good or beneficial. We're talking about the political associations. Also, fusion is cleaner. That's not just optics, right? That's true. I just don't like the idea of like pitting them against each other. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, it went to the fusion guys, but the fission guys need, you know, like, yeah, but fusion hasn't been tested at scale yet. Yeah, that's the point of the grant. Vaush, there is a fusion reactor type called dense plasma focus fusion. It is the future of energy. It would be far cheaper than any other energy source. I'm sure you're oversimplifying it to me. These are the same people who say, why spend money on NASA when we can spend money on Earth? True! That's true. That's pretty true. Yeah, that's pretty true. I agree. That is true. That is true. That is what they're doing. That's true. If we spend money only on immediately viable projects, there wouldn't be innovations like airplanes or high-speed rail. Yeah, you gotta just throw a lot of money at it, you know?